Hey girlfriend, Ingafay here. Super excited to be with you today. For those that don't know me, I'm a beauty enthusiast and confidence coach for home-based business owners. Super excited to share another interview with you with one of my coaching girlfriends, Lisa Swift, who is a holistic health coach. She focuses on gut health. She graduated from the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, and she's also participated in numerous courses centered around health coaching as well as nutrition coaching. Her passion is to help others live their healthiest life. And without further ado, here's my girlfriend, Lisa Swift. We will definitely see you inside. Hey Lisa, how you doing, girlfriend?
Hi, good. How are you today?
Oh, I am doing great, girl. Super excited to have you here. And I'm so excited to talk to you today about how we can trust our gut. But before we go directly into that topic, tell us a little bit about you, who you are, who you serve, and how you serve them.
Well, thank you so much for having me on this platform. I truly appreciate it. So I am a holistic health coach through IIN, Institute of Integrative Nutrition, and I'm currently doing the Precision Nutrition course. I just finished the gut health course through IIN. So my whole mission is to help people fix their gut because the gut is such an integral part of our overall health. And I found it fascinating. And so if we can help people, I try to help coach people, best things to do to fix your gut, to prevent illness, because a lot of it, 70% of our immune system's in the gut, and to just help them live longer, healthier lives. So that's why I found the gut to be so fascinating. And it's a huge science and there's more coming out every day. But, I feel like I'm making a difference in helping people. And I'd love to help women just live healthier and get off that yo-yo dieting and just eat healthy and live a healthier life without having any worries, being able to go out, enjoy your life, and never stepping on a scale, just staying healthy, eating the right foods. That's really kind of my mission right now and passion.
Yes. Okay. So what exactly is the gut and why is it so important?
Okay, so the gut is so important. It's actually huge. It's such an integral part of our overall health. So like I had mentioned, 70% of our immune system lies in the gut and 90% of our serotonin, which is our happy pill. So you see a lot of people struggle with anxiety, depression, and a lot of it is because what they're eating is affecting their gut, if that makes sense. So it's a whole huge ecosystem. There's about 5 pounds of microbe found there. 5 pounds of microbes. It's crazy, right? So that in itself is huge. And it's a just whole huge ecosystem that helps us to digest, assimilate, because we're only as good as what we absorb and assimilate. And if you have a healthy gut, you can absorb all those nutrients. When you don't always do that. So that's a problem. And then to eliminate, super, super important to eliminate, hopefully every day. And we'll talk about some things that will help with that. But that's really what the gut is. And it is super important and integral part of our health. Yeah.
So Lisa, how do I know if my gut is healthy?
Okay, great question. Well, if you're moving along, you have great bowel movements, you don't have any bloating, those are some signs. But also you can look for things like if you're not only bloated, but if you feel like you just feel off, you may have lots of sicknesses, you may have lots of illnesses, you may have anxiety, you may have depression. Those are some things where you say, hey, I better look at my gut health. That could be one of the problems. And there's a lot of things, other than just food that are causing problems with our gut health as well, like stress. And we can talk about that too. But yeah, so those are just some of the things people might notice. And, because a lot of women struggle with the bloating and it's very uncomfortable. And, they're like, I just don't know what to do. And a lot of times you may have food sensitivities and you don't even know it. So I always recommend people get a good food sensitivity test and see if some of those things might be causing some problems for you. That's some place where we can start as well.
Awesome. So what are some things that you can eat to improve your gut health?
So what we want to focus on really are, an 80% of a plant-based diet. And for some people that might be super hard, but if you can do that 80% of the time, you can still have good, meats that are organic. I always recommend organic, grass-fed. We don't want to be taking in any of those antibiotics from the animals. You want a super healthy meat, preferably white meat, most of the time. I'm not just going to say you can't have grass-fed beef. That's great. And there's great omega-3s in that too. But I would focus on more of the lean meats, eggs, nuts, seeds, beans, things that were kind of more plant-based foods that will really help with your digestion and your gut health. So what do we do with that? So a lot of people ask me about, first thing would be like also prebiotics. So prebiotics are kind of like the good fertilizer for your gut bacteria. So those would be berries, bananas, Jerusalem artichokes, garlic, onions, leeks, things like that, and even green tea. Green tea is a great cancer preventative and it's great for your gut. So those are some things you can do for your prebiotics. There's something called fructooligosaccharides. There's actually a study that they had given a teaspoon of this to children. I forgot how long the study went for, but they didn't miss any days of school because the gut, the immune system made so much sense. Getting these prebiotics into your diet every single day make a really big difference. So you want to feed those, you want to get the probiotics, right? So some people, those are more like you can do more fermented foods. Some people love to take a probiotic every day. And there's actually been research on that shows there was an 8-week study that people that took the probiotic lost more weight than the people that did not. So if you want to take a probiotic as a preventative, you certainly can. The Lactobacillus species, this was very good for immune function. You can do that. Rye bread, also sourdough, all of those things are really good for your gut as long as they're, and we'll talk about that, non-GMO, mostly organic. The problem with a lot of our food supply today is it's GMO. And now it's starting to show up on labels. It'll say a bioengineered ingredient. And a lot of it is sprayed with the glyphosate. And that is damaging our gut lining. And that's why a lot of people, I want to say in the last 20 something years have noticed digestive symptoms and digestive issues. And it's all when this all came about 20 plus years ago. So I really focus on getting more of the produce and food that is not sprayed and does not have any GMOs at this point. And I would really, the most you can do with organic and non-GMO foods is the best. So those are some good things that will help keep your gut really healthy and prevent, illness, any autoimmune diseases down the line, things like that.
Awesome. So you mentioned that GMOs are something that we definitely want to stay away from. Are there any other things that we would want to avoid in our diet?
Well, of course, any kind of processed foods. I myself always look at labels. So I see propylene glycol, that's a petroleum-based chemical. They've taken carrageenan out of most things, but you still might see that, some of those chemicals. Any of the dirty oils, any of the vegetable oils, canola oil is not even a safe oil. I would focus more on avocado oil and good quality olive oil. Coconut oil is fine in moderation. Those are just some of the things that I would, avoid as far as the dirty oils, any kind of processed food. I also recommend getting a good water filter because our tap water, I would avoid because that also has contaminants in it. And we have no idea, you can get a water report from your town, but I myself bought a water filter. I fill it up every day and I have it every morning. I just keep filling up my glasses of water and I know it's clean. It even takes out the fluoride because my dad died of ALS. So I keep a lot of toxins out and fluoride is one of them. So I have the fluoride filters and I drink, I try to get my half of my ounces in body weight of water every single day, of course, in a stainless container because we don't want plastics. Those are xenoestrogens. That's a whole nother subject, but that also can mess with your body and your hormones. So we definitely don't want that. So I always recommend just get yourself a stainless steel, BPA free. The bisphenol A also causes breast cancer. That's in some of the products. Most stuff is BPA free now, but just look for that and try to get that in every single day.
Awesome. So girl, I am curious, how does stress affect your gut?
Good question. So stress can give you an increase in cortisol production, and that can lower your stomach acid. And if we have that, then we don't have our digestive enzymes. So digestive enzymes are crucial. And I always recommend them to people if they're having trouble maybe with reflux and things like that. You can take a digestive enzyme with your food, which is wonderful. But, if you don't have to, and you don't want to increase that cortisol, you really need to find ways to reduce our stress because a lot of people will, maybe have, drink or whatever, have other issues that are because they're stressed, they're going to juice this, right? And that's also going to affect their sleep and they'll have, thoughts that aren't probably the best. So it really is crucial to find a way to fix your stress, because you want to assimilate both your micro and macronutrients, and that it can affect that. So I try to, get people to just maybe meditate. There's a breath called the 4-7-8 breath. You breathe in for 4, hold it for 7, and let it out for 8. That's a great technique. It's great for anxiety and depression. You can do it twice a day. You can really do it anytime you feel like you need that. I also recommend when you're eating, not to eat on the go. Really sit down and be mindful. Put your fork down. I've learned that at Miraval, where I went years ago and love it in Arizona. Taught us a great mindful practice to really enjoy your food and not to just shovel it in, because your body can't absorb all that at once, right? It's like almost a shock. So take your time when you're eating. Eat in a calm, stress-free environment. Maybe turn your phone off. Enjoy time with your family and just really focus on that when you're eating, and that will help take your stress level down. You see, it can make a really huge difference. And chew your food too. As an aside, chewing is where the digestion kind of starts in the mouth. So if you're drinking a smoothie, make sure you chew it, because it helps the body to say, oh, she's eating something, or she or he's eating something, and I'm going to start the digestion process. So digestion process is huge. It's, it starts in the stomach, but it goes down into the small intestines. It's 20 feet of small intestines, kind of crazy, right? And then large intestines just gets rid of whatever it needs to. And that's when you will have a bowel movement. So, which I think are just the bomb and the most crucial thing for your health. So that's a little bit about stress.
Awesome. Now, I know before you had mentioned something about probiotic. So how, or really why do we need a probiotic?
Well, so the probiotics are good. Those are all the good lactobacillus species. Those are all the species that are good for our gut, that are good for our immune system. So that's why we need probiotics. They can kind of help with the bad and good balance in your body, in your gut. So I do believe having some probiotic rich foods are good, especially if people are having real gut issues. They can do more fermented foods, sauerkraut, kimchi, tempeh, tofu. Tempeh has great protein, lots of different things that you can do for the probiotics. And there was actually a study of the women in Poland that ate 30 pounds of sauerkraut a year, had very healthy lives. They came to America and started not eating the sauerkraut, higher incidence of breast cancer, colon cancer, like just amazing. But that is the power of food, and fermented foods are wonderful for the gut. I love sourdough bread. So if I want to fix, I'll have some sourdough bread.
Awesome. So now we've been talking all about eating, but I know that you also support intermittent fasting. Can you give us some insight on that and how we could incorporate that in our daily routine?
Sure. So intermittent fasting, or fasting in general, is wonderful for your gut, because it gives your body a chance to rest. So I always recommend that my clients stop eating 3 hours before bedtime, or I know that's hard for some people. They like to have popcorn on the couch, but if we can just create that habit slowly but surely, even if it's 2 hours, but I focus on 3, it gives your body that time, and your stomach, especially when you're sleeping. You don't want to have food on your stomach, because your body needs to repair itself while it's sleeping. You don't want it to be digesting food. So if you can go, I do the 16 to 18 hours now every day. And I found that has been the key to keeping my weight stable. I struggled most of my life just, worrying, getting on the scale, and I shouldn't have eaten that. I shouldn't have eaten this. If you eat in your eating window, you can really, if you want that treat, you can have it. You're not going to eat, 20,000 calories. You're going to eat healthy. And that's what we want to focus on, getting in more plants, getting in the foods that are going to crowd out the junk food. You don't want that anymore. Your body's going to be like a machine that's going to be like, I want all these good plants. I want all these good nutrients, because you're going to feel that way. So when you intermittent fast, there have been so many good studies showing also that it helps prevent cancer. So for me, my mother's had breast cancer twice. I want to focus on things that are prevention, and intermittent fasting for me has been prevention. And I actually, I feel really good. I drink water all morning and green tea. And so I get all that in the morning, and then at 11 or 12, depending on when I stopped eating the night before, I always look at my watch and say, when did I stop eating last? And then I go the 16 hours, and I'll just drink a lot of water. And so you get all that water into your body every single day, and it makes a big difference, even with weight loss too. So I love intermittent fasting. I think it's been For me, it's been really wonderful. And I, just turned a friend onto it, a new client this week. And this week she's lost 7 pounds, just, starting her day with fiber and protein and no sugar and doing the intermittent fasting. So very grateful for that. And she is too. So it's pretty nice. It's pretty cool. I would recommend, if you're going to do it though, start slow. If you've not been doing it, you can work your way up slowly but surely to that 16-hour window. Yeah. And that will definitely help with your gut because it gives it that time to rest and repair itself. Give it a break.
Awesome. That was some good information, girl. So I'm curious, do you have any final thoughts before we talk about your freebie?
Final thoughts. Well, my final thoughts would be, I don't want anyone to ever make themselves crazy. I want them to just live a healthier life. Focus on 80% of the time, getting as many plants as you can and enjoying yourself the other 20%, because life is short, right? We want to live long. Life is short, but we want to live long. So focus on fueling your body for your health and not just always for pleasure. We're still going to have pleasure, but not 100% of the time. And once you get yourself used to eating all these wonderful plant-based foods and recipes that I'm happy to share with you, I do have some resources for that if anyone's interested. You'll see a big difference. It really, really does make a difference. And you feel good and you feel full of energy, and then you can give back and pay it forward to others.
Awesome. So tell us about your freebie. I'll bring up your website and then you can kind of tell everyone what you have.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Inga. Yeah. So if anyone can go to lisaswifthealthyliving.com, and under my blog, there will be a pop-up and you can put your name and email in there, and I will be happy to send you my clean eating guide. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Awesome. So if you want to connect with Lisa, by all means, be sure to connect with her via her website. We'll also have her social media handles down in the description as well. So if you want to connect with her on social media, you're welcome to do that. And as always, thanks for watching, you all, and bye for now.
Thanks so much.